Oh, okay.
Slaughter comes out. That's interesting. I mean, minus armor, Slaughter against AM has always been like one of the really good kind of counter picks. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go into like a PA or something with this, like a Slaughter PA duo.
Yeah, it's almost certainly PA here. I agree. PA or Jug, based on like Jug being really good in lane against Darkseer. I think those are the two obvious choices to me. The amp damage is just so good against anti-mage. Until he gets Manta, he simply can't fight. And even when he gets it, he's still killable.
It was a confident,
like guaranteed bash is so nice.
Yeah, the new Slaughter has been entertaining to watch, and it seems like again more comfort as the patch goes on. People getting the realization how strong the hero potentially is. But I was gonna say that was a confident Darkseer pick. They just responded with that right away. Coming out here on the side of Elements Pro Gaming, is there a reason why the Darkseer pick kind of stands out for their side? Do you think?
It helps in the early game aggression, like Ion Shell, the Tusk, you have Inkswell on top of that. You can just start fights pretty much anywhere. Whenever you have an anti-mage, you're pretty much going to be playing like 4v5 for X amount of time until the anti-mage is ready to walk to fights. And not to mention, I think it actually does okay in laning against Beastmaster. Probably not as handily as a Tidehunter would, for example, but if they wanted to do the trial lane with the anti-mage, like we were speaking about earlier, this would be another hero that could potentially like tank the Beastmaster lane, if you will.
Juggernaut, BSJ, you're mentioning that as far as that or the PA maybe coming to mind, but better at dealing with the Darkseer in that lane. Speaking of him,
it's also a good sustain for the push too.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is a good point. The healing ward also just enables their ability to group up. They actually don't have a good way of killing it right now on Elements Pro Gaming, like other than like anti-mage blinking in, but that's not exactly happening.
Both teams relying on, well, again, well, it depends where Dazzle's going to end up, I suppose. And yeah, you look at the lineup on the side of NIP, that's really kind of the question mark right now. Is Beastmaster, Dazzle, Slaughter, they could all interchange between supports and cores at this time. So I know BSJ, you're talking about Slaughter. Would you rather see him as a core going up against the anti-mage here?
Yeah, I think it's like such a good core matchup for Slaughter that I'd be surprised, because like anti-mage in general relies on winning the lane by virtue of burning your mana, but Slardars generally just max their bash, and he's a hero that has like high physical damage, which anti-mage is bad against, and then also doesn't care if his mana's burned. So like I'd say like Slardar and Centaur are like the two best lane matchups against anti-mage, because neither of them rely on mana. And anti-mage just struggles. So I feel like at this point I'm looking at like from the anti-mage's perspective, and I just feel like the musical chairs isn't good either way. I wouldn't really want to lane into a Juggernaut aggressively, and I wouldn't want to lane into a Slardar. So curious to see how they attempt to adjust to this on the side of Elements.
NIP, it's Tiny coming out.
Okay. Guess the big question is who's actually their mid laner. Tiny could be mid here for Fata, but Fata used to play a lot of Beastmaster, so that could also be a potential mid. But I imagine one of those two will be going mid, and that's why they're banning the Monkey King. But at the same time, we could see a Dazzle mid, and then like a 5-position Beastmaster.
If it was Dazzle mid, though, they wouldn't have banned Monkey, right? I'm pretty sure that matchup's not that bad for Dazzle.
I imagine you wouldn't be afraid of it.
Not running the rain or the core Dazzle, though, means you are going to have 3 core melees, which, is that really the biggest deal in the world, but at least standing out here.
Well, Elements have a pretty much only melee too, right?
That's true, yeah.
And they just have a Grimstroke. BSJ was saying that they can't really kill healing ward. It's pretty tough for them, actually.
Playing melee heroes against anti-mage isn't really a problem too much.
Yeah. Well, APG has plenty of time to think about this final pick now. Options that maybe come to mind, noticing OD is still there. He was really that good this game, but one of the more popular mid heroes.
I'd say DK probably stands the most out to me, but like I feel like they need some hero that just runs around the map doing stuff for them and is tanky. But I actually don't know if there's any hero that could tank that lineup. Yeah, okay. That's all I could really think of.
They got a very slow draft though. Darkseer, DK, Anti-Mage. I kind of see these 3 heroes. I'm just like, man, what are they going to do? Like after the laning stage ends, like they're going to be entirely reliant on their supports to like kind of be the ones making plays here.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was a better pick, but I'm never too excited about like a DK last pick for a draft.
And going to that as well, the other side, NIP, they're going to be playing fast. They're going to be looking to, run at you, especially with now the core Slaughter. We confirmed here 3-3 is going to be playing it. It is a mid-tiny. in the hands of Fata, and of course Beastmaster going to be making for pushing objectives and using that Hawk, if anything, in the boards to run people down. So, yeah, it seems like EPG may have some trouble getting out of this early game, the lineup they're up against.
Yep,
the other thing too is like there's no real guarantee of like this anti-mage hitting a critical mass. You know, some games the anti-mage gets to like second, third item, and you go, wow, okay, we got a big problem. At any point in the game, NIP's lineup can kill this anti-mage. Doesn't matter when it is. He'll instantly die. He gets caught by Aurora.
Jug is not. Jug does not die very easily. Is like the difference.
It's a tough game, I think, for EPG, and that's just looking at the draft. I wouldn't even take like the player skill or the teams into account here. I would still say that I would favor Nip's draft even then.
I agree.
Don't know if the odds showed up there, if I missed them or not, but anyways, you can head over to es.bet and place your bets on set odds that will be there on the website for you guys. I got to think NIP is favored, though, of course, when it comes to the odds, just going into this matchup, being one of those 4 invited teams, no doubt. But now with the draft also knowing in mind, it seems like we're leaning towards NIP overall, even with the draft taking out the teams. BSJ, before you go on the break here, is that safe to say?
Yeah, I just think when you have a carry matchup, when one hero is much easier to kill than the other, it just makes it very difficult to win the game. And in this case, Jug is very unkillable, and Anti-Mage dies at any point in the game, like Draskyl said. So I'm definitely going with him in NIP's draft.
So Draskyl, same thing?
Yep.
All right, well, here we go. Game 1 of this best of 3, kicking it off here for the quarterfinals now. Again, you've already made the money at this point. $2,500 guaranteed. We're talking about $100,000 on the line, though, so safe to say it adds up pretty quickly. Ultimately, $50,000 for first place if you're happen to get all the way and win it all here for the WePlay Winter Masters Tournament. And right now, Peter Pandam, well, he's dead. That's a tag team.
Give him the tip, guys. Give him the tip. Please do it.
They really should, shouldn't they? Especially with the talking.
Yeah. Oh, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, they're focused right now. It might come out eventually. We'll see. But, yeah, that's not the start that NIP hoped for now. Of course, he was up there. He's actually placing a sentry. I believe he's blocking the pole camp, it looks like. I wonder if they're going to pick up on that, though.
Looks like they really want to make sure that the anti-mage doesn't get to secure last hits on tower. There's still a lot of fighting going on, though.
Yeah, they're just going in. Inkswell comes out. The tag team. Sox is in trouble now. One more attack. He is going to fall. Yes, finally goes down to DNZ right there. Fata unable to do enough in response. So EPG has a 2-0 start when it comes to hero kills, at least. And they also got that top bounty rune, I believe. So it ends up being a 2-for-2 bounty rune. So, yeah, EPG, they like the way things started here.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with all that. And now they kind of, I mean, both teams have a pretty good idea of what lanes are coming their way. The big issue is going to be whether or not they can take out that pull camp block. It's pretty important to have the pull camp when you're running this tri lane, and your anti-mage is maybe going to be pressured because you need to be able to control that creep equilibrium.
And this is Darkseer laning 101. Put the ion shells up, let the push happen. As we mentioned, Juggernaut maybe a little bit better as far as mini cores go, as far as dealing with it in the end. But still, for anyone, it's going to be annoying to play against. As back to the top lane, LeBron keeping his distance. But as usually has been the theme in a lot of these matches, we do have some early action of 2 versus 3 or even 3 versus 3 lanes. In this case, favoring EPG, though, at the top. But we got a successful pull from Beastmaster.
Yeah, it's going to have to play this. You're in a 2v3. You didn't aggro tri lane. They're going to leave Peter down bottom. You want to make sure you have these pulls from behind the tower. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to contest the lane.
Mitch going to take some good damage, but he'll TP out before he ends up dying. Puts the iron shell up and we'll try to get some of those last hits in there. Obviously, Dazzle denying what he can.
This is where Jug is really good. And I feel like Darkseer is a hero. Like, some teams are trying it out and playing it a bit on this new patch, but it feels so hard if your lane is kind of contested, because it's so easy to get these denies, and then suddenly this Jug, 9 CS with 7 denies, Darkseer with 2 last hits. You need to be able to contest the last hits, because these carries these days are just so good at denying creeps against Iron Shell.
And it goes back to just the somewhat greedy lineup, I think you can call it, on EPG's side. I mean, all 3 of their cores going to need a fair amount of time before they're going to be doing too much. You know, DK, depending on his build, I suppose, may be involved sooner than later. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, if you're DK here, getting something like an early Blink Dagger probably makes a lot of sense considering the lineup that you have. And you want to be active around the anti-mage specifically. So would you tend to agree, or?
Oh, absolutely. DK cannot go like a greedy build this game. He needs to be the one rotating around, pushing towers, making space.
Yeah, we've seen some DKs even go for like a Radiance type build, but yeah, no way he's doing that this game. You'd figure 3-3, top lane, he's probably dead. Again, that Inkswell on the tag team, we've seen it many times before in this patch, and yet another case here. It's just so slow, you cannot get away from it. Slaughter, even with that sprint, doesn't matter.
Or Anisha tossing the tower, he's in some trouble.
He's probably dead. You know, I had to do a double take there for a second because I'm like, oh no, he's fine, he's running back to the tower. Then I realized he was actually the dire side trying to live right there. So that was a good toss for Fata.
Yeah, I don't know why he ran. I think he could have just ran away from the TPing and Slaughter, but maybe he was just too deep back at top.
Doesn't stop, man. Soxa, he gets out, but plenty of distraction, I suppose, from the other team. You see, they did eventually take care of that Sentry Ward that was placed by Peter Pan Dam at the beginning of the game.
It's always nice when you have Grimstroke on your team if you're like a Blink hero, like a PA or Anti-Mage. It just makes your lane that much stronger. Normally an Anti-Mage lane is going to be pretty weak, but a tri-lane with Inkswell and Blink means you can just blink in, have this guaranteed kind of stun initiation, and actually have a lot higher kill potential.
No matter how many kills happen, I still look back at that CS of Juggernaut specifically, man. 23 and 17 right now to start, literally free farming at that bottom lane. Anti-Mage is keeping up, to be fair. 19 and 15 himself. Also looking impressive, but of course a slight advantage for Juggernaut, and we'll see what he builds. Is this one where you want to try to get that Battle Fury ASAP, you think, to start competing, especially with the early start, or would you maybe see Yasha first?
He's having a good start, and he's against Anti-Mage, so I think you can accelerate with it. As top lane, Swift Ending finding more and more kills. This Inkswell with Anti-Mage, Sux is dead, and top lane's looking pretty nice for EPG.
Yeah. It's a supporting cast, absolutely. It's got to be up there on the tier list as far as in combo. You know, how do you deal with it? It's going to get kills, and that's yet another one on the list that they're able to pick up right here. So part of me wants to say, you know, NIP, should they keep coming up here, considering it's not like they're locking down Anti-Mage. I just got finished talking about how his CS is fantastic, as well as the kills and assists that he has.
Yeah, they decided to bring, with PPD up here, the 3 heroes. I think this lane can go a lot better, and this is the nice thing about Jug having such a good start, is that you can leave him alone against Darkseer, and he's going to continue to crush the lane. Healing Ward gives him enough sustain that it should be a pretty easy lane.
Peter trying to walk away, but easier said than done when the tag team slowing you down constantly. And the Inkswell helps finish the job. LeBron Dota, credit for the kill there on Grimstroke. 5-1 start now, but great job with the bounty runes. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they got all 4 bounty runes on NIP side.
Yeah, I think Ace just pushes out the lane bottom so he can do that, and yeah, that was 4 bounty runes, 2 for Ace, 2 for Soxa.
So they do have the overall net worth lead, despite that 5-1 hero kill lead for EPG.
I've been watching a bit of Peter's stream, and every time he's playing pubs, he's yelling at his teammates, bounty runes, every time it's like 10 seconds before they spawn.
You mean he's going runes?
He's a bit more sophisticated than that.
I can see that. Down goes Soxa, top lane though. Finally we see fight back from NIP as Fata joins the party. Already throughout the Avalanche though, and doesn't have much mana to work with thanks to Anti-Mage. Beating him down and burning all that mana. Tusk, DNC is trying to go the other direction, be a distraction if anything. The auto attack from PPD will finish him off though. But you see Fata eventually running away again with no mana, because that's a mid rotation. I mean, they got a kill out of it, but
Jug down bottom, he's doing something. Oh, he's looked like he went for a kill. I think he actually used Omni Slash. It's on cooldown, so yeah, Ace thought he had to kill, maybe got some bad RNG on the Omni Slash, or just Mitch kind of played it well.
Yeah. So he doesn't get it, but not the no harm, no foul kind of situation. Obviously, he's going to be fine himself as he backs up. Once again, tossing Bornea into the tower, but this time with the Elder Dragon form, double bracer now. I think DK is a little more ready for that to happen. Level 2 Dragon Blood as well.
Yeah, he's got enough armor to tank through even a couple tower shots, and there wasn't even some creeps to help tank it up, so he's fine. But Fata continues to have a bit of an edge in this mid lane with the kill and similar CS, and he's level 6 already, so things are going slightly better for Fata, but all in all pretty even.
Look back at that Juggernaut again. The CS continues to impress, and now 7 minutes into this game, Fata's not afraid to move. He's going to the bottom lane now, and they want to address this Darkseer, at least look to pick up a kill on him. Nobody's in the middle lane currently, as DK's also rotating of sorts, but Mitch is caught. Surge, it's going to help him. Will it be enough? The tree's going to be dodged, and Mitch is still out of here for now. Meanwhile, 3-3 goes into the top lane, but Mitch still on the run. Auto attack with the double damage room for Fata, however, finally does him in. So they do complete the journey. Just took a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah. Swift Ending's Anti-Mage continues to get these kills up top, though. He's 5-0. 5-0-2. All 7 of these kills have involved the Anti-Mage. This is not a hero you typically expect to see involved in action early on.
Wow, yeah.
But hey, he's because of Grimstroke. This is literally the hero that's enabled him to get all these kills. I mean, Tusk as well. They're tri-laning up here, and they're just basically saying this Anti-Mage is going to carry us and win this game for us. Let's just tri-lane him. We don't care how badly Darkseer's lane goes.
Yeah.
DK's DK. He'll do fine.
Yeah, goes back to, obviously, he's the focus. It is that 4-1 strat now. This is not the greatest, space-making team. That is the one concern for EPG. So as great as Anti-Mage is doing, you would think the NIP is, of course, with Fata specifically on the Tiny. In fact, speaking of him, Omnislash coming out, but Tusk save initially. Mitch is going to survive for the time being. Still walking away. Fata wants that kill with a haste drew, but he can't finish the job on him. Or no, now he's turning back to him. DNZ being run down by Juggernaut. Avalanche comes out. Fata does finish the job on Mitch, and down goes DNZ. So ends up working out pretty well for NIP. The core's down here.
That was such a nice save from DNZ on the Tusk, but unfortunately Darkseer kind of went back in. I think he thought he was safe there, but Fata got a bit of a glimpse of vision and had another Avalanche, so great rotations from Fata. He's been the one more active than the Dragon Knight. It's a bit easier to be active as a Tiny because you've got more kill potential than DK.
Yeah.
DK, when they get active early, it's normally more to push towers. Like, you'll just go bottom, and you don't care that your rotation's spotted, but you know you can take a tier 1 tower. The issue is, neither of his other cores is able to push with him. So Darkseer having a bad start, and Anti-Mage being an Anti-Mage means there's no lane for DK to go to. This is probably the best thing he can do. Just sit mid, spam his ultimate when it's up, and chip away at this tower bit by bit. It's just not really why you want to really pick a DK.
Yeah, not the most efficient use, but kind of just adapting to the game, what it calls for in this point. So see Anti-Mage, though, again, goes back to just free farming. So as we've talked about, I mean, NIP has pretty much accepted that fact for now, at least. The Battle Fury, though, well in the works. Already another 1,300 gold saved up with the Ring of Health, double Wraith Band, Power Treads. Yeah, this is going to be a sturdy Anti-Mage sooner than later right now.
Yeah. Jug not too far behind, also going for the Battle Fury. So we should see similar-ish timings on those Battle Furies, at least with how it's looking right now.
10-minute bounty runes. The Inkswell, good toss away from Fata. He's able to pick it up because of that. So well played. He got the bottle out of it as well, and it ends up being another 2-for-2 exchange in this case. As the 10-minute bounty runes go. As you take a look at the updates there on the odds, NIP still favored, but EPG closing the gap a little bit. Again, head over to es.bet. Place your bets if you like. Set odds. Take advantage of the insurance going on for this event as well. Saksa, he's dead in the middle lane. That's Inkswell for you.
Yep. Nice little kill, but unfortunately these kills don't really turn to objectives. And I think that's something that DK is typically grabbing, but they just haven't had the opportunity to do so, and I think kind of just accepting, hey, let's just play for the Anti-Mage. But I mean, this game's with Anti-Mage's farm, it's one of those heroes, like, he's going to end up being the one creating space when he gets his Battle Fury, pushing out all these lanes to a certain extent.
BPD dies middle lane as the tower goes down as well, so he's there trying to deny it, I'm guessing. Ultimately just gets run down, I'm sure, by the Inkswell and got hit and eventually died. You can kind of figure what happened, even though we didn't actually see the kill take place right there. And look at...
he didn't get the tower tonight too, so nice chunk of gold going EPG's way.
Get to a point I was going to make in a second here, because top lane 3-3, he's going to get collapsed on yet again. It feels like this has been a theme up here. 3-3, he tries his best. The crush comes out. It's only that 1 second stun, though, remember now. More about the slow after the fact, but either way, he goes down. Saksa, you're eventually going to go down too. He kills the Braun Dota thanks to his boar, but the Promeror also not going to save him, so he'll end up falling. Bit of an awkward use of it. It's, I suppose, not a long cooldown, but I don't think any turn was happening there. Desperate move. Bottom tower pushed in freely from Ace, but as I was going to mention, DK is going for the Radiant, so much for that idea of him needing to play fast.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this, but phase double bracer, he could be active even without any items like a dagger. He may change his mind too, depending how this game goes, but we'll see how it works out for him.
Top lane PPD. He's not afraid to be up front. He's being pinged out, though. Probably should have been a little more afraid. He's got a shallow grave, but even if he gets it off, it just would delay things, that's all. 3-3. He's going to keep his distance. So PPD kind of playing a magnet right there. I suppose information.
I think the idea with the Radiance, I think he just doesn't feel like he has teammates to play fast-paced with.
Yeah.
So you go this like Blink, Drums, Shadow Blade, you know, this more high-paced Dota. You need teammates to kind of play around. I mean, they are pushing towers up here, but I think he realizes, you know, we might get a tier 1 here or there, but we're not going to be taking Roshan pushing tier 2s by 20 minutes. We're playing an anti-mage game, so I may as well be a bit greedy too.
I can see that. It kind of makes sense in the fact that he's right now 3rd in net worth, despite going a Radiance. You know, usually if anything that means he'd be a little bit behind until he gets the Radiance. But the way this game's going right now, pending a death coming up here soon, it absolutely makes a lot of sense. Soulbind, by the way, used right there as they were running in. Out comes a Promaror on board now, but he's not going to care too much eventually. Walks it off. Tusk save here. As Anti-Mage, by the way, is very low, able to blink out, though, as a result of the Tusk save. Well played again by DNZ. He, of course, dies, but he saved the Anti-Mage as a result there.
On point, yeah. The bottom lane save on the Darkseer, that didn't quite turn out to be a save, but the Anti-Mage's there, keeping him alive. If he dies, that's terrible news. The issue is still, though, Anti-Mage is being pressured, whereas Ace, his net worth is skyrocket. He's suddenly 1,400 net worth ahead of this AM, and he gets himself another tower now, so even further ahead, so his Battle Fury much faster than the AMs, and that's something maybe a bit concerning for EPG.
Yeah, again, goes without saying, as we talked about with the draft as a whole, this Radiant lineup is no doubt going to come online faster, specifically with the core of Juggernaut, and we are seeing that a bit already. So this is a free Roshan. You got the Beastmaster, Aura, minions, everything else. I can't see how much life it has right now, but point is, the entire team's not even coming. It's going to be a free Roshan, free Aegis, and a free kill, apparently, on LeBron Dota, as he was checking things out. Of course, that's the Blink Dagger of Fata, though, in the Tiny.
And this is scary now. This Aegis timing where they're going to just be taking a lot of these towers. If you go to defend them, you've got to worry about blinked on, so any kind of like a blink toss, you can toss backwards into a Slaughter Crush, toss backwards into a Roar. There's no one who really defends towers that well, other than perhaps the Grimstroke to a certain extent.
I'm going to go heavily for that mid-tier 1. Instead, they're roaming over here. Check out the jungle. A little curious about that. It seemed like they had a free mid-tier 1 tower push, but instead it's a double-stack Ancients. That's what he wanted.
I think they had vision of it from Hulk. So just, prioritizing that instead. And also there's a, double. So doesn't get one of them, but gets the majority of it.
God, he almost has a Yasha already. That Battle Fury finished. It's going to be quick.
Full Yasha ahead of the Anti-Mage at this point.
Wow, they're running in.
PG.
Surge Ink Swell, that's a fast dragon if I've ever seen one. 3-3. The wall goes down. He's still, he's living through this. Omnislash bouncing out now, too. Soulbind's put out, but Tusk is going to fall, and DK taking plenty of damage on the backlines from Juggernaut. Tiny ends up coming with the Darkseer for the kill. Anti-Mage, of course, not really here. He blinks out early. Not much more he could have done. DK, can he actually survive is a question now. Again, he's working on that Radiant, so a death right here would definitely hinder him quite a bit.
Does he not have a TP? He might not have mana for the TP, it looks like, because otherwise he should just TP'd away from the Jug. I'm guessing he didn't have it because they're going to chase him down.
Juking through the trees, spin on top. He's doing a great job juking, though, but he doesn't have that escape tool again. No Blink, no Shadow Blade or anything like that. They are eventually going to collapse on him.
That's a pretty big kill with the dominating streak. 400 gold for Ace.
Yeah.
Ending that one, and he gets even further ahead. So 16 minutes in, NIP have managed to take a lot of map control here. A lot of these towers falling, taking this early Shan. They've got all their kind of core items up, and they're just going from one objective to the next.
No doubt something that PPD stresses here, objective gaming. Exactly what NIP is all in for. The Vlads on Soxa helping with that too. Working on the Medallion next, of course. Nice follow-up as they're diving somebody. It looks like the Tusk. Yeah, he's going to go down. Fata just making great use of this Blink. He also has a Shadow Blade close to finish now. I believe he at least has a Shadow Amulet on him. So how do you stop this? So that was the question for EPG going into the game in the first place, looking at the drafts. We don't seem to have the answer yet, unfortunately. And, well, they're going to go tier 3. We're only 17 minutes in. They have an Aegis. Why not? Oh, that's a ticket.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Tiny's finding the picks, too.
Catch Bornea with the Promaror, but obviously DK probably the toughest target to kill.
They can't kill the Healing Ward. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
And Anti-Mage, this is his worst nightmare. He doesn't want to. He cannot fight. This is not something that Anti-Mage can really defend personally. He's entirely asking his team, like, can you guys do anything? He's going to wave cut the next wave, which is the best thing he can do. So I like that play, but they may still lose Rax here if NIP want to try and force the issue with the Aegis.
Darkseer, the Crimson Guard helped there a bit, delayed it quite a bit there as far as the initial tower kill, but eventually it does fall. And that's a tier 3 tower kill already.
I think with the Aegis coming close to expiring, and they saw they lost the next creep wave here. NIP know, all right, we can't get Rax now, but we just go to tier 3. Shrines are available to us if we want to go for them soon. You're not in any rush if you're NIP. You don't look at the Anti-Mage and think, ooh, if we give him 10 more minutes to farm, we're going to lose. You're looking at this Anti-Mage and you're like, at what point in this game does this AM out-carry us? There probably isn't a point, unless EPG wins some team fights and he overtakes the Juggernaut for it.
Yeah. Interesting choice here from Juggernaut. If he ends up going, he got the Shadow Blade at least, and he does have the Silver Edge still queued up. And obviously, I guess you're dealing with the DK specifically. Even Anti-Mage would be good against potentially. So the logic there. It is interesting against DK how it's almost like a really buffed up Desolator against him.
Yeah, you remove so much armor with it for that period. Actually, pretty insane. It's an item that I feel like is Shadow Blade just kept getting nerfed. So did the Silver Edge. We don't see it very much on many heroes, but this is definitely one of those situations where it's very good.
I think I saw, yeah, Shadow Blade was completed on Tiny as well. So we'll see if he too goes for that Silver Edge item eventually. But look at this. Ace, he's just toying with his food now.
The Hulk vision. He's going to think there's a ward there too.
Yeah.
Fortunate thing he gets the courier. Oh no.
Got the courier. They're going to get Tusk. Oh man, he'll barely live for now.
Fata's not done. He's like, you're not going to juke me so easy.
Yeah. He'll get the kill. You hear the Aegis being reclaimed. And yeah, I mean, NIP, they're just everywhere. Because now at the bottom lane, the supporting cast is just pushing that tower in. And they're going to set up for Juggernaut to join the party and now push another tier 3 tower. They cannot stop. And still Anti-Mage is farming away elsewhere.
I mean, you're just so freed up to make these small little plays when you're against an AM. Because you know AM's not going to fight. So they can make these like 2-man, let's run into their jungles with just Tiny +1 and see what we get. They're falling back for bounty runes here, though. PPD Dota, we got to get those bounties, he says.
They got tier 3. Again, they're not going to... Oh, that wasn't a tier 3 tower kill, but they applied a little bit of damage.
All these bounties, though. AM manages to sneak 1, and he's going to get 2 actually down bottom.
Oh, well played. Minor victories, I suppose, but you have a double damage rune on Tiny now.
It's pretty scary. He's going to be able to shred apart some of these buildings if he wants to go for a push with it, or maybe just find some kills, because I don't think NIP are looking to try and force a high ground push right now unless they get some kills, but they can find kills so easy. Between Roar and the Tiny Blink tossback, they have countless ways to initiate.
Juggernaut has a Silver Edge finish. He's sending the courier to the shop right now to buy the orb and then going to deliver it out. So he'll have that. Rax, they're going for the range Rax first, the easy one. Easy kill. Poor Naya, I'm not sure if he has the Radiance set or if he ended up changing his mind, but either way, he's going to be tossed in, and it doesn't really matter. It's spun on top. They're not saving him. Tusk, he cannot save him either. The snowball was out, but could not pull him in. And DK's dead for 40. Has a buyback. Tusk does not, though. And with that double damage Rin has mentioned, he's going to combo for Grimstone kill.
DK's just sitting on 5k gold. They lost the courier, so he can't send it to buy the rep. I think he's maybe like 100 the Radiance, but you're being high grounded and you're trying to buy a Radiance. I don't know. It seems very odd to me and just does not seem to be the item that really fits this game, like I said at the start.
Yeah, early on it was looking okay, but as soon as the game started to really shift with the momentum, I think definitely changing it up would have been a safe and smart call. But as we're talking about that, it's just more dominating from NIP. The Omni Slash bouncing around kills Darkseer. Poor Naya's also going to get caught. He's staying dead. That should be it. None else in him hanging in here.
Swift ending. If he dies, it's definitely a GG call coming out. It may be anyway. And there we go.
It's official. NIP takes game 1. And like I said, I mean, EPG, they were contesting early on. It's actually started pretty decent. The DK momentum was looking good, even despite not going the early initiation tool. And playing as a team, the lanes went well.
Yeah.
It just, NIP turned it on, though.
Exactly. It's something like around that 15-minute mark. All their heroes just suddenly come on. Beastmaster gets his Vlads, Tiny gets the Blink Dagger, and suddenly there's like all 5 heroes on NIP are suddenly like, okay, I'm ready to go. And meanwhile, you've got this dire lineup where there's like 1 or 2 heroes that are ready to fight and do things. Anti-Mage wants to keep farming. You've got Darkseer who's he's trying to jungle to catch up because he got dumpstered in his lane. The DK doesn't really have any plays to make, and the support's like, well, we're just supports, so what are we going to do? And NIP's draft was just way too fast-paced in the mid-game, even if they didn't have that amazing laning stage.
Yeah. Oh, NIP takes control. They take game number 1 here in this best of 3, so Elements Pro Gaming have to think things over again after the short break and come back into game number 2, starting with that draft, of course. But I don't think this is a game where you're... I suppose you could argue maybe banning the Beastmaster, because we've talked about that. Hero in general just is really strong right now. In the support or the offlane role, so depending on first pick and not, we'll see if maybe an adjustment's made there, but overall it's a bit of an outplay from NIP, so it's going to be game planning for EPG. We'll see what happens. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by GoDz. We got BSJ as well as Draskyl joining us for the panel once again after we come back from the break. Speaking of that, game 2 just around the corner here for the WePlay Winter Madness playoffs continuing. We'll be right back.